Okay, so what happens when you take a real visionary in avant-garde watchmaking, Max Büsser, and you pair him up with this multidisciplinary artist, Yinka Ilori, who's just known for this amazing, vibrant optimism? Well, you get something pretty special. More than just a watch, really. It's like a canvas of dreams, one that aims to help you grow yours. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the M.A.D. edition's M.A.D.1S Grow Your Dreams series. It's this collaboration that injects, well, just loads of bold color and storytelling into what was already a fascinating watch. Our main source is a really detailed article looking at this new release, but we've also got some pretty strong reactions from the watch community to consider, too. So our mission today, we want to unpack the whole M.A.D. edition's journey, get into Yinka Ilori's artistic thinking, really dissect the design and the tech behind these watches, and, yeah, understand why they've gotten such different reactions. Basically, get ready for a shortcut to being totally up to speed on this really vibrant collaboration. Let's kick things off with Max Büsser, obviously the genius behind M.B.F., a brand we all respect hugely. He started M.A.D. Editions, but interestingly, not really as a public brand at first. It was more of a side project, wasn't it? Like a way to say thanks.
Exactly. It was meant to, quote, reward friends of the brand, long collectors and suppliers for their continuous support. There was, and he was clear about this, no intention for it to become a brand on its own.
But things took off, didn't they? This unprecedented momentum, as our source puts it, and that changed things. It led to the decision to, okay, bring it to life for the public, but still keeping that collaborative spirit, which gives the brand its character, right? Playful, different, and yet relatively accessible, especially in the world of independent watches.
Yeah, and that whole journey, from being this sort of thank you project to a public brand, it's fascinating. It really shows how an idea with real heart, something unique, community focus, can just naturally gain so much traction. And collaboration is key for M.A.D. editions. Remember, their first artistic partnership was just back in April 2024 with Jean-Charles de Castelbajac. So that really set the stage for this new one with Yinka Ilori.
Right, which brings us neatly to Yinka Ilori himself, London-based British-Nigerian artist, designer. Multidisciplinary is the word. His whole identity seems wrapped up in this incredibly bold visual language, drawing on his dual heritage, telling new stories through design.
Absolutely. He's got such a distinct voice.
And his philosophy, I love this quote, for Yinka Ilori, the world is a canvas for optimism. You can really see it. He takes everyday objects and just injects them with joy, with meaning, uses vibrant color, playful design, and he uses storytelling too, mixing his cultural background with social commentary, aesthetics, across all sorts of different things he creates. Okay, so how does that kind of energy, that vision, how does it translate into a watch? Something meant to, just tell time.
Well, that's a great question, and it sort of taps into a bigger trend we're seeing in independent watchmaking, doesn't it? Brands are exploring ways to connect emotionally, not just technically. With Ilori, it's not just splashing some color on a dial. It's about embedding his philosophy, making the watch feel like a personal statement, almost a little totem. And for some collectors, maybe you listening, that's way more appealing than just, another complex movement. It invites you to see more than just gears and hands, which ties perfectly into the name, right? Grow your dreams.
Absolutely. Grow your dreams. That's the name for this latest version of the M.A.D. edition's M.A.D.1S. And the M.A.D.1S itself was already an evolution, the slimmer version of the original M.A.D.1 that came out last year. That M.A.D.1S wasn't just a tweak either. It brought in a slimmer case profile and, importantly, that Swiss-made single-cylinder movement.
That was a key step, yeah.
Okay, so now Ilori comes in with what he calls the tri-pitch concept. He's taken that M.A.D.1S base and created three incredibly bold, colorful, optimistic watches named Sun, Nature, and Water. Each one explores one of those themes. It really is like a little triptych of his art on your wrist, and each one is limited, 400 pieces per colorway. So here's where it gets really interesting. How exactly did he put his stamp on this already pretty unique watch?
Right, and this is always the tricky part in these collabs, isn't it? How much freedom does the artist get without losing the watch's core identity, its engineering? What's really impressive here, I think, is that they kept the fundamental structure of the case, the movement architecture based on that Le Jouperet caliber from the M.A.D.1S. But Ilori's design influence pushes it somewhere completely new. They seem to have found a really nice balance, letting his art enhance the watch, not just override it.
That balance sounds crucial. So let's break down what stayed the same first to keep that M.A.D.1S feel. We still have that barrel-shaped steel case, 42mm diameter, 15mm thick, which is slimmer than the original M.A.D.1 thanks to that single-sided time display barrel they introduced. The lugs, the case back, those are unchanged too.
Yeah.
And water resistance is still 30 meters.
Okay, the basics are there. Familiar territory.
Exactly. Now for Ilori's touch. And the most obvious place is that rotor, right on the front of the watch. Super visible, it's made of titanium, but the color, that's done through anodization.
An electrochemical process. Creates that tough, colorful oxide layer. Nice.
Yeah, so you get these three amazing vivid colors. Bright yellow for sun, vibrant green for nature, deep blue for water. Plus, they've added superluminova accents to the rotor, so it'll have a presence even when the lights are low. And it's not just color, they actually reshaped the rotor. It's slimmer now, more intricate, apparently, but still spins like crazy. And each blade has this tree motif milled into it, which is a lovely touch, right? Symbolizing hope, growth, tying right back to grow your dreams.
That's a really thoughtful detail. The tree motif integrates the theme nicely. And speaking of details, the bezel is interesting too, how they got the color in there. Instead of just PVD coating it, which is common, they machined a precise groove and filled it with something called HyCeram. It's apparently a high-tech liquid ceramic.
Oh, interesting. Liquid ceramic.
Yeah, it hardens with heat, and then they hand polish it. It shows a real commitment to using advanced materials and getting a high-quality finish. That's something you, as a potential buyer, might really appreciate. It's not just paint.
Definitely adds a layer of refinement. And then under the movement, there's the aluminum base plate. It's got these stamp waves like textural ripples. Creates a subtle 3D effect. It just adds another layer to this whole rainbow of colors going through the watch.
Little details that build up the whole picture.
And we absolutely have to talk straps because they're not subtle. They add hugely to the vibrancy. Each watch comes with these mismatched color rubber straps, like really bold pairings. The sun watch, luminous yellow and green. Water is deep blue and sky blue. And nature gets this wild purple and red combo. It's a statement.
Definitely a statement. Very Ilori, playful, energetic.
And even the straps have details. They've got stamped leaf patterns, again, echoing that grow theme. But they did think practically, too. If the mismatched look is maybe a bit much for a certain day or outfit, each one also comes with a second strap. Plain white, interchangeable.
Sensible option to include. Gives you flexibility.
Right. So what it means for you is you're getting this incredibly dynamic, wearable piece of art, really, with options to tone it down if needed. Okay, let's shift gears. Under the hood, the movement, because this is a big change. Power is now coming from a Swiss-made Le Jouperet G101, not the Japanese Miyota used before. And for watch enthusiasts, that switch, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Oh, absolutely. Le Jouperet is a well-respected Swiss movement manufacturer, often supplying movements for much higher-priced independent brands. So moving to their G101, that's a significant upgrade.
Yeah, the source calls it a powerful alternative to ETA and Sellita. And the benefits are clear. Longer power reserve, 68 hours, which is great. More refined decoration on the movement itself. It's also slimmer, which helps with the overall watch profile. And crucially, it still has that super fast spinning rotor that's kind of the signature fun factor of M.A.D. edition.
Exactly. You keep the visual excitement, but you gain Swiss pedigree and performance.
Just to tick the boxes on specs, it's automatic. Modified, obviously, for the rotating hours cylinder and the inverted layout. 24 joules, beads at 28,800 vibrations per hour. Standard modern stuff there.
Solid specs. And that movement upgrade, thinking bigger picture, it's quite strategic. It elevates the watch's internals to match the high level of the artistic execution on the outside. It really boosts the value perception, especially considering that relatively accessible price point they aim for. Getting a Le Jouperet at this price? It signals a serious commitment to quality, but without losing that fun, approachable vibe. It's a smart way to enhance the watch's core substance.
Okay, so they've made this really cool, upgraded artistic watch.
Yeah.
How do you actually get one, given their limited 400 per color? Well, the release plan is pretty unique, too. It's not just add to cart. First dibs go to the tribe that's existing MB&F owners and the friends, meaning their suppliers. First come, first serve for them. Which makes sense, honoring that original idea.
Rewards the core community. Yeah.
But for the rest of us, for the public, it's a raffle system. You register for free. Throw your name in the hat, basically. And for these watches, the raffle opens Tuesday, September 2nd, and it closes Monday, September 8th. So you got to be quick if you're interested. The price is set at 3,200 Swiss francs plus VAT.
That raffle system is interesting. It manages the hype, avoids website crashes, and it changes the buying process, doesn't it? It makes getting the watch feel more like an opportunity, an interaction with the brand, rather than just a simple purchase.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes part of the experience.
And that whole strategy, it's not just about selling out quickly. It's about building that community, managing demand carefully, especially when you have limited pieces like this.
Yeah.
For you, the collector, it definitely adds to the feeling of exclusivity. It makes the acquisition itself part of the story of the watch.
Now, inevitably, when you launch something this, well, this bold and different, especially in the watch world, it gets people talking. And we've definitely seen some varied reactions to the community about these Grow Your Dreams watches.
Yeah.
It wasn't a quiet launch.
Rarely is with something this colorful.
No kidding. So let's look at a couple of viewpoints. We saw a comment from someone called J. Quincy Magoo. Pretty pointed. They said, affordability is relative. Busser wants me to grow my dreams while he grows his bank account. Ouch. They go on. Affordability appears to have become an often used word to describe outrageous pricing for what's being offered these days. And then they take aim at the raffle. And then I have to register for a raffle to see if I'm lucky enough to get my name drawn for the privilege of growing his bank account. So clearly not everyone's a fan of the price or the purchase method.
Wow. Okay. Strong words. That definitely touches on the whole value proposition debate.
Yeah. And then there's another angle, a comment from Odd. They said, what a joke. It could be a fan pool summer watch, but only with 30 meters. You barely can get it close to the sink. So this perspective is less about the price or the raffle and more about the practical specs, the water resistance specifically.
Right. And that's a totally different kind of critique focused on functionality. What's really interesting here is how these comments highlight the different things people prioritize in a watch, especially in this independent space. For someone like J. Quincy Magoo, affordability isn't just the number. It's about the perceived value, what you're getting for the money, and even the buying experience itself. The raffle felt like a barrier, or maybe even a bit insulting to them. Then for Ode, the issue is practicality. You see this bright, fun, maybe summer watch, and you expect a certain robustness, maybe higher water resistance than 30 meters. 30 meters is basically splash resistance, right? Not really suitable for swimming. So for someone who associates this style with poolside activities, it falls short.
That makes sense. Different expectations clashing.
Exactly. And it raises a really important question for you, the potential buyer or just observer. How do you weigh these things? How important is the artistic statement, the brand story, the sheer fun of it, compared to the practical specs, the price to perceived value ratio, and even how you get to buy it? There's no single right answer.
Absolutely. Well, we've covered a lot of ground from Max Büsser's kind of accidental journey into creating M.A.D. editions. Through Yinka Ilori's incredibly vibrant artistic vision, we've dissected the design details, the movement upgrade, the unique release, and even dipped into the, let's call it, spirited debate around these Grow Your Dreams watches. It's been quite the exploration of color, mechanics, and community reaction. So as we wrap up, here's something to think about, a little provocation for you. When we talk about real innovation in watches, does it only mean pushing technical boundaries? Or is it just as powerful, just as innovative, when you combine solid watchmaking with a really bold artistic statement? One that maybe sparks discussion, inspires a bit of optimism, and literally invites you to, well, grow your dreams right there on your wrist. Where does that kind of artistic collaboration fit into the future of horology?
That's the perfect closing thought, I think, because ultimately this deep dive really shows you that a watch can be so much more than just a tool for telling time. It can be a canvas for vibrant art, it can be a statement about your own philosophy, and it can be this fascinating focus point for conversation and debate within the exciting world of independent watchmaking. It's about personal expression, maybe just as much as it's about hours and minutes,